Hey, I have a quick question for you. What would your life look like if you could earn thousands of dollars every month without picking up a second job, without learning a new skill, and without spending hours hustling? Right now, there's a brand new opportunity that's exploding quietly. While everyone else is still trying to deliver food, take surveys, or sell t-shirts online. It's what I call the plug and profit side hustle, because you literally plug into a proven system and profit from the growing demand in the marketplace. Businesses are leaving money on the table every single day, and this side hustle gets you paid to help them fix it. No tedious fulfillment, no tech skills needed, real income that keeps flowing even when you're not working. I'm hosting a free live training where I'll walk you through exactly what the opportunity is, why it's in its infancy, and how you can get positioned early and start earning money right away in this new economy. Now, seats are limited and the early movers always win, so reserve your spot right now. Go to www.plugandprofitsidehustle.com. That's plugandprofitsidehustle.com. Don't wait for another layoff or another emergency or another missed opportunity. Secure your future today. Go to plugandprofitsidehustle.com. Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 599. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is 3 business mistakes I made in 2025 that I won't make in 2026. 3 business mistakes I made in 2025 that I won't make in 2026. Now, every entrepreneur talks about their wins, but the real breakthroughs, guys, sometimes come from owning your mistakes. And in this episode, I'm going to break down 3 costly business mistakes I made in 2025 and the strategic moves that I'm making now to ensure that it doesn't happen again, or they don't happen again in 2026. Now, these aren't just my mistakes, guys. These are some pitfalls that silently sabotage thousands of entrepreneurs every single year. And I'm going to break down why we make these errors and how they drain growth. But most importantly, the exact fixes that you must put into place to level up your business in 2026. Now, before we get to today's show topic, guys, let me just share a few things with the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'm going to share all my social media contact information and resource links, such as the link to my webinar that is dropping live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to plugandprofitsidehustle.com, plugandprofitsidehustle.com. So forget all of the side hustles, guys, that drain your time and pay you pennies. There's a brand new income opportunity exploding right now, and the people who move early are the ones that are going to win big. It's called Plug and Profit Side Hustle for a reason. Now, it's not selling lotions or potions or driving strangers around. This is a smarter, scalable side hustle built for busy professionals who need security, not uncertainty, leverage, not labor, and real income and not pocket change. So once again, come to the live event. It is Tuesday night tomorrow. This drops on Monday. It's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to plugandprofitsidehustle.com. It is a live webinar. Make sure you guys are there. Also, for you first-time listeners, we drop a new episode every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on all your major podcast platforms and YouTube. So wherever you're watching this or listening to this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button so you'll be alerted when new episodes drop. Now, let's get ready for today's show content. 3 business mistakes I made in 2025 that I won't make in 2026. As entrepreneurs, we're always focused on the positive things like we should be, such as growth, strategy, and leveling up. But sometimes the most important lessons come from looking in the mirror. And I'll be honest with you guys, 2025 taught me some lessons the hard way. And there were 3 major mistakes I made this year that slowed me down and kind of drained my energy and even stole some joy from the process. And what we want to talk about today are those 3 mistakes that I made and some of the mistakes you may currently be making right now in your business. And then I'm going to talk about why this was a problem or why they were a problem and what the solutions are. So, we like to give actionable steps, guys, to help you move from point A to point B. So one of my biggest mistakes, number 1 in 2025, was saying yes to things that I should have said no to. My heart is there to serve. So a lot of times I'll get in situations where people will ask me to do things and be on panels and do all types of things. And I'm like, damn, I need to do this because I want to serve the community. So what did this look like for me? So this, and I'm telling you this because this may jog your memory and you may say, damn, I'm doing things that I should have said no to. So it looked like taking on opportunities that looked attractive, but actually weren't aligned with my long-term vision. And I do that sometimes. Sometimes you see that shiny new object and you're like, yo, I got to get on that. But if it's taken away from your long-term vision, you don't need to do it. Another way that it looked was entering partnerships that weren't a strategic or energetic fit. Now, I didn't quite do that, almost did, but I was really considering a partnership with somebody and my gut feeling told me not to do it, and I'm glad I didn't do it. Also, committing to projects that drain time but really didn't move the needle. So a lot of times you need to set aside time if you want to do public service, right? Because doing your business and public service are 2 different things. So committing to projects that drain time but didn't move the needle, I had to say, start moving away from that because that was happening too. So I get asked to be a part of a lot of things, being an entrepreneur for all these years and having a podcast. And I try to accommodate as many people and things as I can, but sometimes it gets too much. Another way this looked for me was allowing external pressure to dictate my decisions. And that's something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs have. You're worrying about what it looks like as opposed to what it really is. So that was an issue I had. Another thing was trading focus for busyness instead of progress. And I know this happens to a lot of entrepreneurs too. You're busy, but you're not really making progress. So some of the things that you shouldn't be doing, you're probably doing right now that aren't moving the needle. And let me talk about real quick why this was a problem. So saying yes to the wrong things actually forced me to say no to some of the right things. I'm going to repeat that. Saying yes to the wrong things forced me to say no to some of the right things. So when you clean out all the stuff that you shouldn't be doing, now you have room for the things that you should be doing or the opportunities that you should take advantage of. Also, misaligned commitments stole my time, energy, and mental space. When you have misaligned commitments, and that was an issue I was having once again with not being able to say no to certain situations or to certain people. Also, it was a problem because it created overwhelm and it actually slowed down the execution of my real goals. So it got in the way of my real goals. And lastly, it distracted me from my core mission of my business. So mistake number 1, saying yes to things I should have said no to. And what we're talking about today, guys, is 3 business mistakes I made in 2025 that I definitely won't make in 2026. Now, let's talk about some of the solutions for mistake number 1. Create a decision filter. That's what you need to do so you don't keep saying yes to things that you should say no to. And how do you do that? You want to use a purpose alignment test. So ask yourself, does this serve my purpose and my goals, or is it just a distraction dressed up as an opportunity? So does this serve my purpose and my goals, or is it just a distraction that is dressed up as an opportunity? Another solution is implement a 24-hour rule. And my mom always talked about this. Don't say yes immediately. Give yourself space to evaluate. And a lot of times, clarity comes for me early in the morning, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning before I get up. That's when clarity comes. So when it's a big decision, implement a 24-hour rule. Another solution is you can score your opportunities. You can rate them on a 1 to 10 basis on alignment, revenue potential, required energy, and long-term payoff, or anything that you feel is important to you. And anything under 8 is a no. So rate them 1 to 10 based on alignment, revenue potential, required energy, and long-term payoff. Another solution is protect your calendar. This is big, guys. Decline anything that doesn't move your mission forward. And so I decline stuff all the time, but not as much as I should have in 2025. And remember, guys, every no protects your yes. Every no protects your yes. And I understand most of us want to help people. That's just our nature. But you have to understand and focus now. Saying yes to things that you should have said no to is not helping you. So that was my mistake number 1. Mistake number two, which can be related to mistake number 1, is stretching myself too thin and losing focus. All right, what did this look like for me? Trying to operate in too many business lanes at once. Now, it's funny because I own multiple businesses and I juggle a lot of balls. I got a lot of balls in the air, but that's kind of the way I like to do business. It keeps me excited and it keeps me focused. Sometimes you have to intentionally drop some of those balls on purpose so you don't drop them by mistake. Okay. So another thing is dividing my attention across too many projects. Once again, with me and a lot of entrepreneurs, we get entrepreneur ADD. But I actually like to work like that, but I even had to reel it in. Another way that it looked was constantly shifting priorities instead of finishing what mattered. Shifting your priorities. Once again, that shiny new object, you get a new idea, and now you're off to the races, forgetting exactly what you were actually trying to accomplish. Another thing, or another way it looked, was wearing every hat instead of delegating. And that was something that I really have started to do a lot better with. But you're using your leverage to delegate some of the things that don't move the needle. And lastly, trying to scale multiple things without first mastering one. Now, I'm not that bad in that because I always talk about, as an entrepreneur, before you go and start doing something else, make sure you have one solid stream of income at least. So when you go out and try to do other things, you still have that. So that's mistake number 2, stretching myself too thin and losing focus. Now, why was this a problem? Because diluted effort equals diluted results. Diluted effort equals diluted results. I don't care what it is. If you can't focus and put your energies fully on something, you're not going to get those results of a full-time effort. All right, plain and simple. Lack of focus slowed revenue growth. I talked about entrepreneur ADD. So that's why this was a problem. Another problem was increased stress and burnout. So when you're stretching yourself too thin and losing focus, you get stressed out and burned out. Another problem was it created inefficiencies and incomplete projects. I got a list of stuff that's incomplete. My wife was like, "Oh man, what are you doing this week? What are you trying now?" But that's just my curiosity. I've always been like that. I like to try things to see if they work. And another problem was it prevented mastery in any one area. Once again, diluted effort equals diluted results. And mistake number 2, stretching myself too thin and losing focus. Now, let's talk about the solution to that. You want to reduce to multiply. And I did an episode about this probably 2 years ago. I wanted to get smaller to get bigger. So I didn't want to do everything. I wanted the ecosystem of Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and the podcast and everything to overshine me. I don't want to be the star of it. I wanted to get smaller personally so the ecosystem could get bigger. So reduce to multiply. So pick one primary priority per quarter. And these are some actionable steps you can take. So focus on one initiative until it starts to produce results. So pick one primary priority per quarter, okay? Whatever that may be based on your goals and objectives. Create a stop doing list, not a to-do list, but a stop doing list. So eliminate tasks, services, or business lines that don't drive return on investment. Create a stop doing list. And that's kind of a reminder, hey, I don't need to be doing this. Delegate or automate low value work. I just talked about that. So free up your time for the high impact decisions only you can make. And many times we feel we don't have the monetary or the money to be able to hire people, but now you have AI and automation that you can actually delegate or automate low value work. Another solution is use the focus formula: clarity, consistency, completion, scale. Clarity, consistency, completion, scale. All right. So that's the focus formula. Another solution is adopt a weekly focus block. I always talk about time blocking, right? And so time blocking is when you focus solely on one task for a specific period of time. You don't answer your phone, your email, none of that. So you're in an offensive mode. When you're answering emails and calls all the time, now you're in a defensive posture, but you want to be in an offensive mode. So adopt a weekly focus block. And I usually do it multiple times a day, 90 minutes of uninterrupted work. And then you take, maybe a 15-minute break or whatever, but on the number one priority with no distractions. So focus block, 90 minutes of uninterrupted work on the number one priority with no distractions. Now, remember, you can do anything, but not everything at the same time. You can do anything, but not everything at the same time. And a lot of times that's what happens when you're stretching yourself too thin and losing focus. And that is mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, not taking enough time to enjoy life. Not taking enough time to enjoy life. I had some major health scares in the end of 2024, actually 2025. And so I didn't really share a lot about it, but some major things came up, but your boy is still ticking. I'm like a Timex, right? So everything is good now. But mistake number 3, not taking enough time to enjoy life. So what did this look like for me? Working nonstop without intentional breaks. I'm a workaholic. I enjoy what I do. Skipping rest, travel, or time with loved ones. I try to spend as much time with my family and friends as possible, but when you got a lot of balls that in the air juggling, it's tough. Constantly grinded with no space for reflection or gratitude. I do have a little bit of space for reflection and gratitude because every morning I take usually 15 minutes, to thank God and also just to reflect. But I haven't done it enough in 2025. The other one is feeling burned out despite business wins. Feeling burned out despite business wins. Always on the go. My wife actually told me last night, she was like, damn, it's like you working 24 hours straight, but I got projects to get done and I have things that I had to do. So, and when you have multiple businesses, it's tough. I got a mortgage business, got my hot sauce business. I got the BEB ecosystem. I got a marketing company. So I got a lot of things going on, but that's the way I prefer it. But I do need to take time to enjoy life. Now, why is this a problem? Burnout lowers creativity, clarity, and business performance. When you're tired, you can't focus. You ever been in school and tried to take a test and you've gotten like 2 or 3 hours sleep and your mind just isn't working right? You're in a fog. You probably would do 3 times better if you had some rest. But burnout, it lowers your creativity, clarity, and business performance. Also, it's funny because life almost felt like a checklist. All right, let me check this off. Let me check this off. I was checking stuff off, but I wasn't enjoying myself along the way. I wasn't enjoying the journey. Another thing is success kind of felt incomplete without my peace. But I will tell you this. When you're dealing with health issues, I don't care how much money you have, right? Good health is peace, family. I'm telling you. If you don't have your health, you don't have your wealth. Also, why is this a problem? Missed opportunities for rejuvenation that fuel better decisions. When you're rejuvenated, you usually perform better and make better decisions. Now, what are some of the solutions for not taking enough time to enjoy life? Number one, you want to schedule joy the same way you schedule work. Schedule joy the same way you schedule work. Vacations, downtime, family days, hobbies. Sometimes you just want to take a day and don't do anything. Don't have anything scheduled so you can just decompress. And as entrepreneurs, we're in a high stress atmosphere. We're walking that tightrope without a net below us. So sometimes you need to make sure that you schedule joy the same way you schedule work. Also, you want to set boundaries, no work zones, no phone hours, unplug, whatever you need to do, set your boundaries. It's funny. The reason I got 2 phones now, people joke around, man, why you got, you got a burner over there? I said, nah, man. When I had my mortgage business the first time, I'll never forget this. It was a Sunday morning, probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. Might not have been 6, about 5:30. This dude called me. I had 1 phone, personal and business. Dude called me, so it startled me on Sunday. I'm like, damn, is my mom okay? Everybody okay? I look at the name. I'm like, yo, yeah, man, I'm calling, just wanted to check on my loan. I'm like, yo, man. I said, the banks aren't open on the weekends, brother. There's nothing I can do for you. Please don't call me Sunday morning at 5:55 a.m. in the morning. All right. And I was like, you know what? This is crazy, because I'd get calls 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock because, if I'm dealing with deals out in California, 3-hour time difference, so set boundaries, no work zone, no phone hours, and, unplug when you can. Another solution is adopt the 90-15 rule. Work 90 minutes, rest and recharge for 15, 5, 10, 15. I never usually take 15 minutes in between. I usually take a couple minutes. I may get up, walk around the block, get some get some tea, get something to drink or whatever. But you need to be able to decompress for a minute. Celebrate your wins, right? Monthly reflection on accomplishments and gratitude. You want to celebrate when you do well. Even if you don't have any money in your pocket, right? And I've done this before. I'm struggling with a business, something goes well. You know what? Let me celebrate. I'm not seeing it in the bank account right now, but it's a win. So celebrate your wins. Also design, and I always talk about this, design a lifestyle-driven business, not a business that consumes your lifestyle. Design your business around your lifestyle, okay? Design your business around your lifestyle. That's super important. I did an episode years ago called The Frankenstein Business. I built businesses that I truly couldn't stand. I couldn't stand going into the office because I didn't build the business right. It didn't serve the purpose that I created it for. I created for financial freedom and flexibility, and I was actually tied to the office. So remember, the goal is wealth and wellness. The goal is wealth and wellness. Money without joy is just stress with a bank account. All right. Money without joy is just stress with a bank account. That's better than being in a position where you don't have any money, but you want to build your business around your lifestyle. Now, before we get to this last segment, guys, let me just share all my social media contact information and resource links. So I mentioned at the top of the show, if you're looking for a way to generate income as a side hustle or even build it into a full-time business, go to plugandprofitsidehustle.com. I have a live webinar tomorrow night, December 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you sign up. Go to plugandprofitsidehustle.com. Also, if you want to get in contact with me, anything long, family, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JAYJONES@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, just look for Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Instagram, I have several IG accounts. The first one is J Jones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. Second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, LinkedIn, connect with me there. Go to LinkedIn, type in J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. You'll find me. Twitter or X, JJones001, JAYJONES001, and YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, hit that like and subscribe button. We have additional content on YouTube that is not on the actual podcast episode. So those are the ways to connect. Make sure, once again, first-time listeners, wherever you saw or watched this episode or listen to it, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll get alerted to our next episode. We drop every Monday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on all your major podcast platforms and YouTube. 599 episodes in a row without missing one. All right. So now let me just sum up today's episode, guys. I talked about 3 business mistakes I made in 2025 that I will not make in 2026. So the first one obviously was saying yes to things that I should have said no to. So protect your yeses, guys. I know sometimes people get pissed off if you don't say yes to certain things, but you have to protect your yeses. You're going to have to start saying no. And I know it's hard sometimes because you want to help everybody. But that's something that I didn't do as much in 2025 as I'm definitely going to do in 2026. Mistake number 2, stretching myself too thin and losing focus. And that kind of is in tangent with number 1, stretching yourself too thin and losing focus. So once again, as entrepreneurs, many of us have that entrepreneur ADD, and we see something shiny out there and we get out there and we go for it. And we lose focus of what our initial goals and objectives were. And number 3, mistake number 3, not taking enough time to enjoy life. I know we're out there hustling, grinding, doing your thing, but you have to enjoy the journey. You know, it's so unfortunate. I've seen and lost probably 3 classmates and good friends this year that we thought were in great health. But you never know when your number's going to get called. So enjoy the journey, guys. You're doing this so you can enjoy your life and have a better life for yourself and your family and your loved ones. So make sure you enjoy that journey. And a lot of times it's tough, and it may be tougher than we anticipate, but that's why we do what we do. Not everybody is built to do this. So enjoy, take the time and enjoy life. I told you I got a major health scare. 2024 was crazy. And 2025 was crazy. I was on the mend in 2025. So, especially with my history in terms of losing, my wife and I lost our son at 17 months old to brain cancer. So we were always clued in to, enjoying life. But sometimes you get back into that rut where you're grinding and grinding because you have goals and objectives that you want to hit. And sometimes you forget, hey, man, let's take a breath here, take a beat and enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the blessings, the fruits of our labor and the things that God has given us. And so make sure you definitely take enough time to enjoy life. Before I close out, guys, I want to remind you about the workshop, actually the plug and play webinar, Plug and Profit sidehustle.com, plug and profit sidehustle.com. Guys, it's a great income opportunity right now. It's not a lot of work, and it's something that if you listen to episodes number 597 and 598, I talked about the characteristics of a good side hustle. You have lucrative, it's in demand. It's not a hard sell because you really aren't even selling anything. And I'm telling you right now, if you're in a situation where you need additional income, you need to come to the plug and profit sidehustle.com webinar. If you're in a situation where you want to start a new business, it doesn't have to be a side hustle. If you focus on it, it can be a full-time thing. So definitely check it out. If you're interested in security, not uncertainty, be there. If you're interested in leverage and not labor, be there. If you're interested in real income and not pocket change, be there. Plug and profit sidehustle.com live and in living color. Tuesday night, December 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you are there because there will not be a replay. Now, I say this each and every week because it's true. We get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. I appreciate you guys so much. Please continue to share with your network the whole BEB ecosystem, the podcast, the online courses, the books, the webinars, everything that we got going on, guys, is designed to help you elevate your entrepreneur IQ and move you from point A to point B. We talk real business stuff, actionable steps to move your business along. Remember, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.